we was dealing with a good question. Oh, do men and women judge potential differently when choosing partners? Okay, that's the question. Do men and women judge potential differently when choosing partners? Okay, so basically the short answer of that is yeah, 100%. They definitely judge things completely differently, and we love and celebrate the differences between men and women. And obviously, men and women are looking for completely different things. They're looking for different things. So they're also judging the potential of different things. All right. So a woman, for example, you may look at a man and be judging his potential ability to provide. For example, this is just one example. Let's not get triggered here, yeah. But a woman might look at a man and be looking, does this man have the potential to provide for me? That could be a thought process. Whereas a man might be looking, does this woman have the potential to be a good wife, for example? So I think definitely, the potential of a person is definitely judged differently. Men and women have different attributes that they're looking for when they're looking at a life partner, and those things are definitely taken into consideration. But potential comes from some level of evidence in the present time that this person is going to be X, Y, or Z, So that's what I would say on that. So, can unconditional love exist alongside conditional standards for a relationship? This is so good. Can unconditional love exist alongside conditional standards for a relationship? I mean, let's be real here, gang. That's just not realistic. It's not realistic. Like, in a fairy tale land, I'd love to say that love is unconditional, but everything is based on conditions, right? I would say this actually. A better way to phrase this is that love is unconditional within reason. It's unconditional within reason, okay? And what I mean to say that is, as long as the partner is reasonable, then it's unconditional love. But what's unreasonable might be the partner becomes a serial killer. It's not reasonable for you to stick with a serial killer, right? So, you know what I mean? But it's reasonable for them to maybe lose their job and have a period of time where they're down. So that's reasonable. But then again, if your relationship is if your relationship is more transactional, then there's gonna be like an issue, or even forget about the transactional relationships, because that's like even a normal healthy relationship. For example, if you stop having sex with your partner, that partner is very likely to start looking for that elsewhere, right? Sex is like a condition of the marriage, right? That you guys have to sign, type thing. You're basically saying, I'm going to have sex with this one person. I'm not going to try and have sex with somebody else. So, in that aspect, yeah, I guess it's like conditional, huh, right? And most relationships or marriages can definitely end because of a lack of sex. That's like a normal condition for a lot of marriages ending, a lack of sex. So, uh, it's hard to say. So, like, I would love to believe in unconditional love, but I think it's unconditional within reason, and I believe there's a lot of reasons. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I think you can do a lot for the person that you love. I think you can climb over mountains for the person that you love. Wars. can be started over love, but at the same time, there are certain things that are needed to make a functioning relationship happen. And if the relationship hasn't got those functions, it's going to be a problem. So it's hard. That one's a bit difficult because I don't think there's no an absolute answer to that one. Thank you. If someone has made the same promise to change multiple times, when should you stop believing in the next version of them? This is a really good question. So if you're in a situation where you got a partner who's got a habit that you don't like, and they just saying, "Yeah, I'll change, give me time, I'm gonna be different. Like this time will be different." Like just all different types of excuses, right? At what point do you just give up? Well, I think the sooner the better. I think, especially when someone said to you, "Look, I'm gonna change," whatever that means. As I already explained earlier, it's very difficult for a human to change intrinsically. So I would always look at that a bit sideways anyway when someone's giving you that type of promise. And after the first or second time, I don't even know if there should be a third time. To be honest, I don't even know that there should be a third time. Unless there was a seriously valid reason why they went back on their promise to not change. Because, you do everything for a reason. You don't slip on some soap and fall in it. You know what I mean? Like, that's only for the movies. There's 100% a reason. And it's 100% a choice. And, unless it's like a serious addiction, compulsive behavior, OCD, like a serious condition. Outside of that, if they have all their facilities, then what they're doing is purposeful, you know? So I think at that stage, you gotta just call a spade, whatever it is what it is. They're making the choices that they want in their life. And if those choices mean that they're pushing you away, then you need to listen to that and just move on. Honestly, after a second time, that they ain't gonna be a third. Second chance is even like it's big, So because like I said, it's purposeful. So someone's making purposeful decisions. You don't really need to give them benefit of the doubt. What they're doing, so what they're doing is what they want to do. So they're making that choice, and they're not choosing you. They're choosing whatever this bad habit is, or whatever the thing that they're saying that they're gonna change. So I wouldn't believe it. It's a long story short of that. I'll keep it stepping, keep it moving. All right. Should someone's current habits be a better predictor of their future than promises? 1000%. If someone's saying to you, "Oh, hey, in the future I'm gonna have a company, it's gonna make this, that, and the third," but right now in the present they ain't doing nothing, you're a dummy if you believe that. You're a dummy if you believe that. If they say this, that, and the third, "Oh, I'm gonna have a six-pack by summer, I'm gonna be looking this and that, I'm gonna drop like 10 kg," and they ain't already working out now, you're a dummy if you believe that. The joke's on you if you believe that. Like, you just gotta be like, if they are working out every single day, 5 days a week, going on 10K walks like your boy, then you can believe they're gonna get that six pack, right? You can believe that because their current habits are proving to you that they're going to be consistent. It's proving to you that they're putting their money where their mouth is, right? If they said we're going to have this wonderful wedding and we're going to have a honeymoon in the Bahamas, blah, 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 and they ain't got no savings, how can you believe that? But if they're working out, if they're working every day, putting money away, you can see the saving pot go higher and higher, then that's an indicator that this person is actually, again, quite literally putting their money where their mouth is and then getting the work done. So don't get me wrong, it's good to communicate, it's good to profess, but I think it's better that you just shut up, really. Just shut up and let your actions do the talking for you and then speak. When I said, oh, I'm going to be the best UK streamer, everyone going to know my name, going to be super famous, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to be able to help so many people and give people motivation and give them words of wisdom. Well, you wouldn't believe me if I wasn't live. You wouldn't believe me if you were listening to this podcast right now. But, with 0 people in the chat, I'm still live. With 0 people in the chat, I'm still doing the podcast. With 0 people in the chat, I'm still sparking up. And, I'll chop up these clips. I'll post them on TikTok. I'll post them on YouTube. Post them on Instagram. Right? So you can see the proof is in the pudding. Maybe you don't see the crazy success now, but if you look at those habits, that's the habits of someone that's eventually going to be successful. Because they're putting in the work when even nobody's even looking. So imagine when they actually get loads of people looking. Right? So Rome weren't built in a day. Great Wall of China weren't built in a day. You got to go brick by brick. Sometimes it's not going to take shape. But the point is, you need to lay those bricks. You need to lay that foundation for other people to see the vision of what you're trying to build. Otherwise, they're not going to believe in it and they're not going to want to help you build it. So if you've got an idea, I know we're going slightly off topic here, but if you've got an idea, you've got a vision, you've got an ambition, that's something that you want to do with your life, you need to start putting the building blocks of that down. You need to start putting the foundation of that down. Talk less, act more, and then people can buy in because they're seeing. They can see that you want more for yourself, that you want to be more, develop yourself more. They can see that. So that is what I would say. And that's the 2 cents for that. Alrighty, let's move on to the next one. Is leaving someone behind because they lack ambition shallow, or is ambition a legitimate, compatible issue? So I think it goes a little bit like to what we said before, because ambition is kind of like, if you're with somebody that has no drive to improve or develop or find different avenues or continue to increase themselves, increase the relationship, bring it to the next level, then it's kind of difficult because you can't be a one-man band. In that situation, you both need to be rowing the boat in the same direction. If you're not going in the same direction, it's going to be a little bit long day. So I think it's a legitimate reason to have somebody that hasn't got to leave somebody. There's a legitimate reason to leave somebody who hasn't got ambition, for sure. But again, I think more than ambition, you need someone that is actually gonna put in the work behind that and not just be all talk. Because it's great to have somebody that is, can talk, is very motivating, very uplifting. That it's great to have that energy around you, but that can't be the only thing. They also need to be backing that with some action. So I'm definitely more of an action man for sure. I'd rather you show me than tell me about it. But I think if you're with somebody that is just comfortable where they are and you want to move forward, and you feel like they're holding you back or stopping you from moving forward, yeah, then I think it's a legitimate reason to end the relationship and move on. Why force them to be something that they're not? And you should just find someone that's more compatible with you and the things that you got going on in your life and the things that you want to achieve in your life. There's no need to drag it out and make it longer than what it needs to be. It don't need to be long. Just keep it stepping and find someone else. What? Here's the full sunset. Oh, Charlie Brown. We all the way late. Okay, so should relationships require both people to be growing at roughly the same pace? Uh, in the ideal situation or ideal scenario, yeah, you're kind of growing at roughly the same pace and achieving your goals roughly around the same time. In the ideal situation, yeah. If you think about what's reality though, what's reality is not really like that. I would say I think the reality is, usually one person sees a lot of success while the other person is still trying things out. That's usually how things go, and that can be difficult sometimes. Even though you love your partner, it can be difficult sometimes to see them like succeeding more than you. Um, but if you're a true partnership, then it doesn't matter if one person got a promotion before the other, as long as you're both still working and towards moving forward and still working to to put your put a relationship first and then continue to develop and inspire each other. I think the issue is if somebody gets success and the other person stops trying. That's what you don't want. But if you're in a situation where one person, gains a lot of success, as long as the other person continues to grow, I don't see no issues with it, because I think reality is very different. But in a dream situation, dream scenario, yeah, you guys are like win, 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 win. And that energy, you can kind of bounce off that energy because you're both seeing success. So I think that's quite nice. But like I said, that's like a little bit of fairy tale. Oh, what a nice little cat. We got like one or two more before we end the stream. Let's have a look. Can staying because someone's potential can staying because of someone's potential make you resent them when they don't become the person you imagined? 1,000,000%. If you stay with someone for the potential of who they may become, you are gonna resent them now, not even later, because they aren't who you want them to be now. The person that you have them in your head, they're not that person right now. So you're already not even looking at who they are. You already like have a dream of this person. So if 1,000% you're gonna resent them, 1,000%. It's not even there's not a question there really. 1,000% you're gonna resent them. What I would suggest is that if you're with somebody for their potential or what you think that they could become, unless you're dedicating your life to helping them become that person, like Michelle Obama helping freaking Barack Obama become president, putting her career on hold and putting all the energy towards that. Unless you're doing that, yeah, man, just leave, bro. Unless you're willing to do the ultimate sacrifice, leave. Because if you're just doing your thing and they love you for who you are, but you love them for who they might become, and you're not enabling them wholeheartedly, then you're setting both of you up to just fail. You're both gonna fail. No one wins in that scenario. Literally, no one wins. Like you might as well just. Yeah, that's GG's. That's already GG's. It's already GG. Just just move on. I ain't even gonna say too much on that. All right, it's probably gonna be the last one. Would you rather date someone successful but complacent, or unsuccessful but extremely driven? Well, it just depends. I'll give you the pros and cons. You could be with somebody that's unsuccessful right now, but because they're extremely driven, they themselves in the future may be very successful. And also, they may encourage you to be a way better person and help you develop as a person or in your career or in your craft because of how driven they are, how motivating they are, how much they push you forward. So that is the benefit. You may not see the physical manifestation yet of their success, right? Because they're not successful right now. But that energy and mindset is very hard to teach. It's hard to teach that to someone. It's really hard to motivate someone that ain't motivated, that ain't got that work ethic and discipline. So they may not be successful right now, but you can clearly see through their habits the potential of their success. You know, I would say there's a lot of pros of being with someone like that. Again, you get to grow together. A lot of it is about the journey, you know. People think a lot about the destination, like, oh, I want to be rich or I want to be this, I want to be that, but the journey to becoming that is what allows you to have the facilities to be able to handle that situation. So I think a lot of the time people forget that. You do need to grow into the person who is worthy of those accolades. And then there's the flip side. You have someone who's already successful but completely unmotivated. This is a difficult one because they are basically, let's say, maybe rich or they've already achieved their goals and now they're not really motivated to do anything else because they achieved their goals. They just want to bask in their success. Uh, if you're the type of person, again, if you are the type of person that's highly motivated, highly driven, you might not be able to handle that scenario. You just might not be able to handle it because you're not going to be able to bounce off them. There's not going to be that spark, that energy, that drive. You wake up at 6 a.m. to put in the work and they just want to have a lie-in. I mean, they earn it already, hopefully, unless there's like a silver spoon and they inherited it. But let's say they earned it, they already achieved what they wanted to achieve. They get to relax. You don't get to relax because you ain't done your thing yet. You ain't ticked your own boxes, so you can't really relax. That might piss you off, man. Imagine you wake up and your partner's there, they're sleeping good, sleeping nice, sleeping well. You know that deep sleep, that snore sleep, that sleeping good, sleeping nice, and you gotta wake up at 6 a.m. putting in the work. That might just creep on you. The only benefit from being with somebody that's obviously more successful, even though they're not motivated, is that if they're a generous person, they can clearly help you achieve your goals 10 times faster than if you was doing it on your own. Just by pure financial, just purely based on finances. Finances alone, you know, that can already, you not having to worry about certain financial obligations can boost you already like 10 times. So it depends if they're generous. If they're generous and they're willing to share their wealth and success with you, it can definitely help you get to where you want to go quicker. Not gonna lie, money talks, man. I'm not gonna lie. Money does talk. It can open certain doors for you. I'm not gonna lie. So that's something to take into consideration. Like, they may facilitate some training for you, they may facilitate meetings for you, or again, you might not have certain financial obligations so you can concentrate. That, there's a lot of benefits with being with someone successful already. It's gonna be an interesting situation. Once you reach a certain level of success, like where do you go type thing. But that's just a conversation for another podcast. We're gonna end it there. It's a 30-minute stream. It was some controversial topics. Hope you all have a wonderful day. That's the thumbnail.